We've suspected it all along, but now proof. Consider our third story a public service announcement, as a new study shows that greater exposure to Fox News will leave you increasingly misinformed. A poll out of the University of Maryland finds that 90% of voters say they encountered information in the past election cycle that was misleading or false. 56% say that happened frequently. And those encountering the highest levels of spin just so happen to be frequent viewers of Fox News. If you're worried about a loved one's consumption of Fox News, the study has identified potential side effects. Those who watch Fox News almost daily were significantly more likely to believe that the stimulus caused job loss and didn't include any tax cuts. They think their income tax has gone up. Healthcare reform will worsen the deficit. Most scientists don't think climate change is occurring, and that TARP legislation, I really love this one, TARP legislation created and passed during the Bush administration was opposed by most Republicans. Gee, I wonder where those ideas came from.
If the bailout goes through, and it looks like, from what I've been seeing, the Republicans aren't going along with this.
Now we seem to have revised this math to include jobs created or saved. That's kind of hard to prove.
A lot of people argue that's what health care reform is going to do exactly, that it's going to add a lot of money to the debts.
Climatologists, scientists, and there are hundreds and hundreds of them that disagree. Why don't they get the same, amount of attention as, say, Al Gore?
A lead researcher for the project says Fox viewer syndrome doesn't just afflict those who identify as conservative. Quote, even Democratic voters who watched Fox News were more misinformed than others. Fox displays a particular pattern of misinformation. The more you watch, the more inaccurate your views. Although on the bright side, if you're a Fox News viewer, you're probably really well informed on the subject of body language and chalkboards. One side note, the study also finds that MSNBC viewers were more likely to believe the Chamber of Commerce had been, quote, proven to donate cash received from foreign sources to Republican candidates. Yes, it is not proven that the money the Chamber takes in from foreign sources went directly to the candidates. So here are the facts. The Chamber took money from foreign sources. They also donated to Republican candidates. And they did not open their books to prove that foreign money did not go to those candidates. Time now to call Ari Rabenhoft, Vice President at Media Matters. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
So I was thinking when I was reading this today of this phrase this Democratic operative used once. He talked about post-truth politics. And he was talking about how you try to conduct politics in an environment in which, we want to have a climate change debate and a massive percentage of the population just simply is living in an alternate reality about what the evidence is.
I mean, I think this isn't just about lying. This is about an organized political strategy. This week, Media Matters released a memo from the Washington bureau chief of Fox, Bill Salmon, ordering their news reporters, not Glenn Beck, not Bill O'Reilly, not Sean Hannity, their news reporters to say, every time they talk about the Earth warming, to say there are people on the other side of the issue. So it's no wonder that Fox News viewers say scientists are split. Scientists aren't split. 2000 to 2009, NASA says is the warmest decade on record. These are facts, but as a political strategy, Fox decides, hey, let's ignore the facts and push our spin, and that comes directly from the top of the organization. This is a political strategy directed by the organization to help Republicans.
Okay, but then it doesn't, I mean, the dispiriting thing, right, is that this poll seems to suggest that as a political strategy, it is working, right? It is effective. I mean, so what's the remedy?
Right, and that's the danger of, frankly, the Fox effect, that people believe this, that I was down on Capitol Hill the day before the health care vote, and they had the Tea Party rally, and every single speaker who got up from the Republican Party lied to that crowd. They said death panels. They said this is going to raise the deficit. Every single one. And I'm sitting there thinking the leaders of the Republican Party are either chronically stupid, willfully ignorant, or pathological liars. And the fact is, that's the message they're carrying to their base, and we can only respond with the truth, and we have to fight back at every single juncture against these lies.
You mentioned healthcare. PolitiFact announcing the lie of the year for 2010 this year, the government takeover of healthcare. What's interesting about that is that it originates in a Frank Luntz memo. Frank Luntz, of course, the notorious Republican pollster. And there's this very strong bridge between a Frank Luntz memo, the talking points that we come see on the floor of the House of Representatives and what Fox News says.
In fact, a second email we leaked from Bill Salmon ordered their news people not to use the term public option.
Yes, I saw that. Right.
Government option. You know, this is an organized political strategy to harm progressives by Fox News, led by Roger Ailes, executives like Bill Salmon and Michael Clemente, to misinform the public to help the Republican Party win elections. It's that simple. You know, they donate to candidates, they support the Tea Parties, and they're their messaging vehicle for elections.
I want to read this here because Fox News also has this great tactic whenever they get attacked where they just they go crazy on the person. They take out the metaphorical baseball bat. So Fox News statement on this report says the latest Princeton review ranked the University of Maryland among the top schools for having students who study the least and being the best party school. Given these fine academic distinctions, we'll regard the study with the same level of veracity it was researched with. And for the record, the best part of this is the University of Maryland ranks among the best colleges in the Northeast, and they're the 19th party school.
Well, here's what's really interesting about that to me. Michael Clemente, the executive who made that statement to the New York Times today, you know, he had the opportunity to say, look, Fox, we're gonna try to do better. We're gonna try to inform our viewers of the facts. Right. He had the opportunity to say, this study was wrong. Here's how it was flawed. The questions they asked, like as you explained on behalf of MSNBC, here's the facts about the question. But instead, he decides to attack the study. That's not what a journalist does. That's what a political institution does. And this is further proof that Fox isn't news. It's a political operation.
That's right.
Their executives behave like the spokesperson for a campaign.
For a campaign. That's exactly right. Fundamentally political institution. Ari Raven-Haft.
Thanks for having me.
Media Matters. Great to have you on tonight.
Thanks for having me.